I'm live. That's exciting. I am live. Come on, you guys, get settled in. I'm going to get the stream set up properly on our pages. Monday, link to join. Link, delete, Command V, highlight, link, enter, edit, settings, open a new window, update. Hey, Lynn and Danny. Always the first two in. Glad you guys are here. Let me know if you can hear. Have essentially the same setup every day now, so it should start to stop being a pain. And let me go make sure that this is working properly. Dun, 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 dun. And it is Beatles Week. Yay! Beatles Week has begun. Sound goof. Hey, Burke. All right, so let's see. It's 12:56. We got 4 minutes, 5 minutes really. I started a minute late. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Hope everybody stayed safe. Trying to think of anything interesting that's going on in my life. I hear you, but the video is a little odd on your side. Let's see. Guys, anybody else having struggling with the video? I've got us plugged into the Ethernet. I have camera set, audio set. Hi, Renee. Hey, Renee, we're doing a little troubleshooting, making sure you can hear me and see me good enough. It always looks a little odd, but it is. Danny, now come on. You understand. I wake up every day and I'm thinking, all right, it's whatever day. And I think the whole day I'm thinking, I have to go and be on a video for the whole day for an hour with poor ukulele people staring at this, right? So don't give me self-esteem issues, right? I feel like a teenage girl every single time I log in here, like, oh God, I don't look so good. All right, let's see. Everything looks good. Renee is fine. Lynn, okay, I'll like, yeah, try to reload, Lynn. Maybe that'll help. Cat, oh, Cat, finally, whatever. Just show up whenever you feel like it. Hey, Kat, I sent you an email about, we've had several people who are having login issues, and I was wondering how you solved yours so that maybe I could post that as a possible suggestion for everybody. What I'm understanding is that there was sometimes there's a challenge with the password, and what people seem to be doing is just hitting forgot password, resetting the password, and then they're fine. I'm wondering if that's what you did, and I'm wondering if anybody else of you guys that has struggled with getting the password set up on the member side, if that's what's happening. I read all sorts of help things over the weekend, and I don't see anything that should be causing that. So just wondering how you solved that problem. Let's see, Diane, ready to rock the Beatles. Diane, right? And we got to figure you'd be ready to rock the Beatles. You're a pro at this. Linda, I can hear me. She can hear me and see me. Hearing me is probably pretty important. Seeing me, not so much. Let's see. You look beautiful, my man. No, that's the other direction, right? So Danny, right in the middle is the two. Eek, you're ugly. Eek, you're beautiful. Oh God, we're going to tolerate this face of yours. That's the lane we're actually in. Let's see. Lanny, audio is crackling a little bit. Pauline, Beatles, yeah. Your audio is crackling a little bit. Let's see. Hey, Terry. Hey, Kathy. Kathy's ready to get her Beatles on. All right, guys. So I'm getting a little bit of mixed reaction about sound and video. It sounds like most of you are okay. A few of you are having a little bit of crackling issues. So I had a little bit of halting on the video. If somebody is fine out there, then it's probably on your end. So I don't want to be not helpful when it comes to being a problem solver technology. But if we can, I don't know, This is the best I can do right at the moment. I do think that. Um, oh, let me do this. I know. Man, let me turn that guy off. That might help. That's the fan that runs my other computer. Let me, we'll see. I'm gonna put this guy to sleep. Sleep. All right. So then that's not pulling any anything going on there. All right. Let's see who else logging in. Jerry, welcome in. Carol. You know, Carol, it's pretty easy to like the Beatles, right? I mean, they're pretty good, pretty legit corpus of music, and so that's what we're after. Is we want one group that wrote a whole bunch of stuff that's all pretty good. That's what we like, right? Bach, Beethoven, Mozart, Chopin, the Beatles. I don't know. Maybe that's probably not necessarily the right group to put them in, but you know, for baby boomers, heck yeah, that choose them over Bach almost any day. Let's see. Terry's got good sound. Manette, sound and video are good. Manette. Okay. So it sounds like I'd say since a bunch of people from around the world, by the way, are getting okay video and sound, that probably if you're fighting it, it may be on your end. And guys, I do know, you know, as you know, I have been fighting the technology terrible this whole entire time. And so I do know that what we're asking of our old computers and our old, it's a lot, right? And we're really pushing the outer boundaries of what it is to be musicians at this point. And so I know the one thing I know is I need to go spend $4,000 on a new computer. That's one thing I know for sure I need to do, but I just can't talk myself into it. So I'm going to keep patching it together. I've got a pretty good setup here, and hopefully we can just ride with this for a while. Let's see. And as you guys know, seeing me and this whole thing, this is just a lesson, right? This is just a short little chance for you to get to make sure you're understanding what's going on with the sheet music, and that really the next 30 minutes after you log out, where you're still sitting there trying to figure out this sheet music, that's the real idea here. The other thing I hope that you're getting out of these is that we basically are creating a situation where you can get in your half hour to 45 minutes or hour and a half practice 5 days a week. And for lots and lots of us, that's a way more ukulele playing than we've ever done in our lives. And so that's why I love this idea, is that, hey, you guys that are available this time of day can log in, get in your hour practice, really have a chance to get your hands on the ukulele, get things moving around carefully and with a little bit of consistency. And then the two things I tell everybody: you got to practice and you got to show up. Well, magically, you're getting both of those things done at the same time in an hour, and then you don't got to go waste your time hanging out. You know, in some old church basement with me. You're already learning everything and just getting in that musician mentality of, hey, I'm practicing every day. I'm showing up to lesson every day. Which is a lot more than most musicians show up to lessons. And so hopefully all of this is creating a musician-like experience for you. It's not musician-like. It is a musician experience that's going to pay off down the road, that you've just got to have it in place. And hopefully the music that I'm stuffing in your face every single day is meaningful, is coming out of your ukulele in a nice, positive way. That's what we're after, is just trying to make it where you can be a better player with higher quality materials than maybe you've used in the past, and that you have a place that you can rely on to get that in on a daily basis. So that's kind of what my hope is for you. A lot of you guys have gone ahead and signed up for memberships over at the website, and my plan is to keep things more or less the same, except I'm going to be feeding the members some secret stuff that's just for them, more modern stuff. This week we have Beatles stuff, which is all modern stuff, so everybody's going to get that. But what's going to happen at the end of the week, I'm going to take those and I'm going to stick those pieces of sheet music over in the member section, so that, you know, people who are just wandering through the web looking for free sheet music aren't going to be able to run into that stuff. And that way, kind of keep a little lid on that. And then also, I think just for as we go along, there's going to be a lot of older tunes that we put up here on and leave up here on the non-member site, and then there'll be a bunch that's more modern on the member site. And I'm trying to keep I don't know. I'm not charging very much because I just don't know the technology behind it. But hopefully, you'll find that useful and helpful. And all of that's going to come together where all of a sudden you are really meeting your goals and turning into something ukulele wise and music wise in general that's going to make you better. So that's where we're at. All right, big long talk. Let's get ready for well, first we're going to play Home on the Range. Okay, for those of you who are newer, as it turns out, the Home on the Range today is actually a tiny bit harder to play than imagined. And so the music and also the other song I worked on earlier, what's tomorrow's song? All My Loving. It is not a hard song at all if you've been around the last few weeks. So you're going to have two songs uh, uh, this week from the Beatles group that are actually a tiny bit easier to play than what the new members have with Home on the Range, and I can't remember what the other one is. We're going to do Key of G Arpeggio tomorrow. That's harder than the Beatles stuff we're playing. Simple Gifts is pretty straightforward. And Daisy Bell is actually going to be harder than the Beatles stuff. So new members, those of you guys who are here just learning and getting settled in, you guys actually have a tougher week in terms of the skill set involved than the Beatles guys have. And so that's sort of exciting, right? All right, let me run through the people who logged in, and then let's dig into Home on the Range. So grab your Home on the Range first. Hey, Terry's here. Beautiful Beatles. Let's see. I'll scroll back too far. Let's see. Jackie is here. Gail, hello, Kale. Phyllis, welcome in. Fran, looking for the Beatles week. Ode to Joy. That version of Ode to Joy sitting out there is pretty legit. You should. It's a pretty nice piece of music. I've been going back through playing the finger style of it just for fun as a warm up, and I love it. Hey, Laurel, Red made it in. Brandon, he's my guy. Christine, welcome in today from beautiful downtown Bozeman, Montana. Lynn, Chris, Lynn is back in. Hopefully the sound's a little better, Lynn. Everybody, not everybody, a lot of people seem to think it's fine, so hopefully yours will clear up. Chris, welcome in. Renee, you're welcome, Renee. That's very kind. Let's see. Excited to be a member. I know some of you guys. It's so fun to see who's signing up for memberships. It makes me really excited. Looking forward to paying members. That's cool. Linda in from beautiful downtown Sonoma. Is there a downtown in Sonoma? I don't know. I will be calling from the road tomorrow. Oh, you'll be calling in. Oh, that'll be interesting to see how that works. I bet a few of you do check in on your phones, which is cool. So, all right, Home on the Range. Actually, first let me do this. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know. I haven't been going in and deleting the beginning. So those of you guys who are having to see the videos of these, you know how it works. I talk for a while, just kind of fast forward through that, and then go from there. All right, so we're going to be doing Home on the Range today first, and it's the harder of the two songs. What we want to be doing, I didn't do my thing. Dun, 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 dun. Broadcasting live from the historic Grant Avenue Theater in beautiful downtown Denver. My name is Gary. I'm a ukulele teacher in Denver. All right, now, when we tackle Home on the Range, it's the state song of Kansas, right? And everybody wants to be, in your heart, you want to be a Kansan. And so this is your opportunity. Let's run through the chords. We'll go through, we'll play it real quick, sing it, because I can actually sing this one sort of. And then we'll go through, play the melody, play the tough uke, and then we'll go over on into playing the Beatles. Okay, so if you're logging in and we're not live, you can speed up if you're just interested in the Beatles. All right, here we go. From the top, we've got a G chord, okay, index, middle, ring. Okay, that should be something that's going to come up every single day you play ukulele, so you might as well do that. And then D7 is right up above there. Okay, again, those of you who are teachers, sometimes your students are going to do their G chords upside down. Please don't let them do that. You've got to get them to do this. Okay. All right, there's that, and there's the D7. You got a C chord in here, ring finger right there. A7 is going to show up, index finger, third string, first fret. That's the A7. And then there's another chord in here somewhere. Yeah, down at measure 21, you've got E minor. This one, I first started playing ukulele, this was my Achilles heel. I could not get this one to go at all. So I spent a lot of time working on E minor. Most of you guys that I see, boy, that's just a real easy chord for you to get to, but I fought it a lot. So everybody's got their own hill to climb. By the way, here's a little secret. Sometimes that sometimes I forget to tell people this. If you're in a G chord, if you're hanging out in G, its very best friend in the world is E minor. And did you know that you can just add your pinky there, and now you have an E minor on your. Okay, so here's a G chord, E minor. Okay. So that's a little secret that not we hold it away from most people. We don't want you to have it too soon. But G chord, add your pinky, and you can get an E minor. Now, when you watch me play, I don't do that because I spent so long working on this darn shape that I go back and forth between those two. But you see how much more work it is, right? Okay. So be thoughtful about, hey, one of those is going to be my way to do this. And they don't necessarily always back up to each other. In this case, the E minor backs up immediately after the G chord. And then you can slide to the A7 that happens next. Reduces the amount of flying all over the place that your hands are doing. Just makes it a little easier. All right, let's go through it real quick. I'm going to sing. Those of you guys who've been around a while know that this is never good. Those of you who are running into this video on the internet, please know I can't sing. That's why we don't do much of it. From the top, count in 2, and then we'll go. 1, 2. Oh, give me a home where the buffalo roam, and the deer and the antelope play. 2, 3, 1, 2. Where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Home, 2, 3. Home on the range. 2, 3, 1, 2. Where the deer and the antelope play. 1, 2. Where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all. Second ending, 2, 3. Okay. Remember, when we have those repeats coming in, this song is meant to be sung twice through, right? So when you get to measure 30, you make a decision. If you're going to play 31 and 32, you have to do the repeat. You have to go back, oh, and then go back and do it a second time. If you're not going to do it a second time, you jump to that second ending. You don't play 31 and 32, and you do play 34 and 33, or 33 and 34. I'm dyslexic for a moment. Okay, so those are your chords. The idea, I like it when you guys are going to your local strum along. If you don't have a local strum along wherever you live, go start one. Here's how you do it. You get Riptide, Wagon Wheel, Over the Rainbow. What else, guys? that we play, and then you put a note up at the grocery store or in your local whatever app is running your local area, and say, hey, we're gonna have a ukulele meeting. Most of the time we meet in church basements, or sometimes a community center or a library will let you borrow a room for free, and then get some people together and then figure out a way to communicate. I do think those strum alongs are super important. It's back in the day, back in 2002, I think it was, Jim Venice started the one here at Swallow Hill, and I was one of the second or third people that joined up with him. And I had just bought a ukulele, didn't know anything about it, and he taught me, here's a C chord, here's a G chord, here's an F chord, and just learning to strum and sing and play along with other people is super important, right? And so that method of playing, unfortunately, has become the only method of playing ukulele in our world. It's one way, it's a great way, but it's not the only way, and certainly, in my mind, not the best way. So if you don't have a ukulele strum along group in your neighborhood, guess who it's on? That person sitting there looking at me right now. Okay, go get something started. It's fine. You don't have to know how to play ukulele well. You just have to know how to show up and then agree that we don't know what we're doing, and just have a good time. Okay. It takes about 10 seconds in a Google search to find ukulele strum along books. There's a couple out there that are ridiculous, and practically everything is in the key of C. So, not it's just a resource to make yourself better at this. All right, next thing is the part that we work on here, which is playing from tablature, one note at a time. Let's play that ukulele melody line. We're not going to go fast. We're going to count in 2, and we're going to go. Ready? Get yourself on game face on. Ukulele melody line. 1, 2. 3, 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. 2, 3, 1, 2. 2, 3, 1, 2. Second ending. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we've got that. Just I played it probably too fast. Okay, we probably want to play that one a tiny bit slower. Yeah, make it feel like you're in Kansas, right? Make it feel nice and slow. Also, I do see a typo in measure 16. That 0 on the top string is the same note as the 3 on the second string. I never do that anymore. Probably did this arrangement back in 10 years ago at least, and I used to actually use that top string for stuff, and I no longer do that. And it's certainly the way it ended up copying over there is terrible. So just know that 3 is pulled through for all 6 beats. There at measure 15, you've got a 3. It's pulled through for all 6 beats. Don't do 3, 0. No, don't do that. That's not good. Okay, so that's just a typo. I will fix that and repost. All right, now then we go on to what we really do. Jerry's video is hanging up here a little bit. Hold on, Jerry. Let's see. I agree. I don't like using the top string G unless it's closer in a particular tune. Yeah. So the reason we don't use this string, okay, and that's how you tell when you go buy these books on the internet, ukulele, blah blah blah, and whatever, and it makes you really want to buy the book. So you go buy the book, you will see most of the time that they're using this string as part of the melody lines in these tablatures. And the reason they do it is because when you're doing your software and you don't know a lot about ukulele, which frankly, back when I wrote this 10 years ago, I didn't know enough about how good and smart arrangements should be done. I would use this top string. Well, it turns out this is way out of the way to go get this G when this G is right here. And makes a lot more sense from a melody perspective to hit this 3, then get your thumb all the way up here to play that one. And so just know when you see those, that's kind of how I will judge a book. I'll just flip through looking at their tabs. And if they got a bunch of stuff on this string, I'm like, they don't know what they're doing, right? But our tendency because this is a reentrant tuning, when we build the song in the actual standard notation line, and then you click and drag it down and it magically appears. And Guitar Pro is worse because it magically shows up there whether you like it or not. And it will always pick the lowest fret it could find on whatever string that's available. And so you'll see a lot of zeros on this string. And that's just somebody who hasn't really thought through how to play ukulele properly. It happens, you can still play it that way. It's just not a good arrangement. All right. Yeah, you just go through and remark the score. 0 means 3 on the second string. Yeah, and it happens. It happened to me right here, right? So I'm just pretty. I'm not necessarily smart. Okay, let's play the tough uke. Those of you guys been around a while. Again, nice and slow. And be thinking about whether you are a thumb down person. That's where you start with this type of music, or am I a claw person, which is where we want you to end up, right? And you'll see me most of the time I'm strumming down because I think it sounds beautiful. I love the long soft sounds that come out of your ukulele when you do this, but it's not really ultimately the best way to play most things. Mostly we'd like you to get really good at playing this way. Okay. And so either of those situations are fine. Do whatever is working best for you at a time. But when you're at home working on this, try the thumb down, then go back and try it with your claw position to give yourself the full view of it. Tanya sneaking out early. Come back and check the Beatles stuff. All right. We got good stuff coming this week. All right. Home on the range, thumb down or claw position. Let's play the tough axe. When we are playing the tough uke, grab your G chord to get started. Whatever your first chord is, grab that. It's a pretty good chance most of your notes are going to be held down. Here we go. 1, 2. Let's do the first ending. To the top. Second ending. Having a fermata on there makes that difficult ending, right? Like you get to decide how long to hold that chord. And then you wait, and then pink. One of the guys in our orchestra, Mike, he loves to always do the pink at the end. He's our official pink man. All right, Home on the Range, lovely tune. Sounds wonderful on ukulele. I would say of all of my early arrangements, of all I don't know, a couple hundred that I did early on, and wanted them to get them as close as I could and really didn't know what I was doing, but kind of got better over time. This arrangement, I think, hits it out of the park. I think everything about it is great. And when you're sending me hate mail, don't tell me you hate Home on the Range because, yeah, it's awesome. All right. All right. Let's get going. Now, we're going to go talk about Imagine. Get it up in front of you. It's 3 pages long. Okay. One of the things to talk about as a musician is, hey, are you using, or is all of your paper sort of set on a kitchen table somewhere and you're playing, looking down at the kitchen table? That's going to kill your back and your neck and your shoulders and all that stuff. And so be thinking it's worth paying for a music stand that sits up here properly. Make it several choices. Here at the shop, I only sell this one. It's cost $45. It folds up. It's really heavy duty. It's really, really nice. It's the only one I carry, and I love it. A lot of you are going to go get that little cheapie, the $20 one from Amazon. It falls over and it's hard to use, and that little wire thing to hold the paper on is always annoying. So be thoughtful about getting yourself a legit music stand, whether you get one from me or whether you get it from your local music store. It doesn't matter, but you really do need to have a decent music stand. The other thing to think about is if you're pretty sure you're always going to be playing at the kitchen table for the rest of your life because they're never letting us out of the house again. One of the nicer stands that actually sits on the tabletop, and you can search Amazon and find those. I sell one. It's $55. It costs more than a real music stand because it's super heavy duty. I think you could do yourself a huge favor by doing something with that, just making your life a little bit easier in terms of being a musician. I do think you buy a $50 ukulele off of Amazon, the soprano, right? And then all of a sudden you're supposed to get a music stand, and now you got to have a video camera, and you got to get Zoom lessons, and you got to get a strap and a button put on, and then all of a sudden you need to have a nicer case, and it feels like you're getting nickeled and dimed to death. I can tell you that I've been in the business a while now, 15 years or so, and every single day there's something else I feel like I'm getting nickeled and dimed with. There's just always a little bit better things. And I would say, I'm not in your pocketbook, but I would say that this stuff, there's a lot of crap out there that you can buy that you don't need, picks, capos, but there's also a lot of stuff that can really make your life easier as a musician. And so I would say, generally speaking, that you ought to buy the highest quality stuff of whatever you buy. Like when, for example, this music stand, or when you buy your tuner, there's the $9 one and then there's the $18 one, and they both do the same job. And you're like, why would I spend $18 on a Stark when I can get this $9 hibba hooba hibba and it tunes at this? Get the better quality one. That's what I'm saying. I just think it's a little better. The one thing that I do say, a lot of you guys will end up getting a hard case for your ukulele, and I will tell you, having almost all hard cases for my ukuleles, that I would not go back and do that the same way. I would buy a super thick, heavy-duty padded, soft case. They call them gig bags, with as much padding as I can. The main reason is they really work. That backpack strap works really well, and so that's the one thing that I would suggest when you're looking at stuff to buy. These hard cases, they seem like a great idea, but unless you're traveling through airports a lot with your ukulele, and even then, I'm not positive they're a great idea. That those heavy-duty, heavy, hard cases probably aren't the way to go for most of you. If they're not the right way to go for me, probably a pretty good chance that it's overkill for you as well. So just be mindful of that. All right. Let's see. Gang's all here. Tanya snuck out. Mike. Where to find a high quality kazoo? Do you know? Here's the thing. I sell all types of kazoos here at the shop. I have the little cheap plastic one. I have a little bit, quite a bit nicer metal one. Then I have ones that are shaped like French horns, and I have ones that are shaped like trumpets, and I have one that's $24 and it's super fancy. They all sound the same. They're all absolutely ridiculous. They're something you want to own as a ukulele player, and the little plastic one it's fine, right? You don't need to spend a ton on a kazoo. You don't need a good kazoo. They all sound the same. But I do sell a lot of the metal one. I sell the plastic one for $1 and the metal one for $4. And I sell a lot of the metal ones because people want to feel like they're really getting something for their money. So let's see. And Amazon is a place to find the really, really little tiny kazoos that are really cheap, and they sell them in a pack of 10. Those are junk. But the rest, but you can tell the difference between the next quality up. Let's see. Bob is here. Bob finally made it in for Beal League. He just talked to me into switching my music braced against the computer. Yeah, that's exactly what Diane's talking about. When you're leaning your music stand up against the screen and you're fighting it the whole way, right? It really is. It really is tough. Let's see. Oh, Mike, you probably have the best kazoo you can get. All right, boo kazoo. Burke, Burke, you love kazoo. Come on. Louise, I would not buy a used kazoo, however. Yeah. I talked to our one of our band people here. There are several bands that meet here, and I ran into one of them in the parking lot this morning. And they've got a huge problem. Here's what I didn't even think about. In addition to just getting together in general, they have wind instruments, and there's little kids blowing through trumpets and blowing through French horns and blowing through baritones, and you're just like, oh God, I'm not going to let my kid go to something like that. So they have a huge problem, and luckily with the ukulele, most of your spit stays in your face, except if you're really concentrating and then you drool. So, all right. Announcements. I've got the next piece ready to post. I think I'm going to play through it one more time, but All My Loving is your next piece. I will tell you, it's duck soup. It is absolutely, it's not complicated to play at all. So you were going to be able to play it with a little bit of vim and vigor and try to turn it into something. You got two other Beatles pieces. I've got the baritone versions of those done. I just got to transfer it over onto ukulele versions. And of course double check for typos and that sort of stuff. So I'll be getting those posted this week. New member or members got you got a secret email earlier this week if you registered by yesterday afternoon or so about a secret plan I have over on the member side of things. So we'll be moving forward with that. I got a couple of other things to post there, which should be fun. And so we'll keep a lot of sheet music going in front of you. I do want you guys to know that it's not about the person with the most sheet music does not, you don't win doing that. And I'm looking at the list over here, and I know a half a dozen of these people with binders that are this thick filled with paper. Okay. And that doesn't turn you into a musician. Really, what turns you into a musician? Here's a life lesson. Brandon teases me about life lessons. What's going to turn you into a musician is sitting down with one piece of music and getting it really good. Okay, so it might be Imagine. This might be the one song that you're like, I'm gonna kill this thing. The nice part about this song, written by John and that other lady that we don't bring her name up around baby boomers. They lose their mind. And recently there was a court case, and it appears that other lady now has full songwriting credit for this. So just know I'm aware of the problems with that other lady. I'm also needing you to realize that it's possible that she wrote this, but don't throw it away because of that. It's a good song, and it's useful for learning how to learning it now, and because obviously it's just a very thoughtful and mind-provoking thing. But every Christmas time you get a chance to play this. They don't really run it on the radio too much until Christmas time, and so do radios still exist? I think so. Um, uh, But collecting music is so easy. I know, right? Right? Right. It's normal for me to grab piles of sheet music that I was going to work on and just putting them into the trash. It just, it just never stops. Linda, on the Jolly Roger Ukulele website, it says subscribe up in the menu, and that's how you become a member. Okay, read it through. Make sure you're comfy with it. I don't remember getting a secret message. I hope I didn't accidentally delete it. Oh, okay. Joyce, I'll double check that you actually made it onto the list, Joyce. Send me an email to double check that yours was looking good. By the way, I'm about 3 or 4 days behind. Well, maybe a whole week behind on email. I am working, guys, as fast as I can to get to. A lot of you ask me legit questions, and I am getting to it as quickly as possible, and I do apologize. I am way behind. All right. I don't know why I apologize. I'm always way behind on email. Imagine. Let's go through this. You have this introduction. This introduction is very iconic. People know this introduction. When they start to hear this song, they know, hey, that's John Lennon's Imagine, right? The one part that's going to be hard for you as the ukulele player is you got a 16th note. You got two 16th notes in there at the end of measure 2 and the end of measure 4. Okay, so let's talk about how to play this. You probably want to play this with a claw shape, but not necessarily. That's going to actually give you a pretty hard challenge. So I'm going to walk you through it with my thumb, but again, you probably want to be thinking about this in terms of a claw position. So let's look at the ukulele melody line and the tuff uke are identical, and because we've got to get that dun 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 sound into this. In order for people to know you're about to play Imagine. Okay, so we're going to go, I'm going to use my thumb, but again, you decide. And the first measure is not too bad. 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, 2-0, oh, 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 oh. That part's pretty doable, right? It's eighth notes. You play it at whatever speed you think you can. I would play that section almost as fast as you can, but you don't want to play it as totally fast as you can, because when you get to the end of measure 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, you've got to go. So the 0, 1 are twice as fast as everything that's come before it. Okay, 0, 1 are very fast, and then 2 is back to an eighth note, and then you're back into the pattern. So I'd like to run through that just a couple of times and see if we can get it where it makes sense. The big takeaway, though, is those 16th notes at the end of measure 2 and the end of measure 4. You want those to be faster if you can do it. Okay, let's see. I don't think Louise is talking good about that girl. All right, Louise, I want to come give you a hug. That has never happened in any of my classes. Boomers, I know. These are your guys, and that girl, right, is not your guys. And so I get it. All right, from the top. Remember, we're going to try to get that one section faster. 1, 2, ready, go. 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, 2-0, oh, 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 1, 2, 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, 2-0, oh, 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 1, 2. Okay, and then you drop into however you're going to play the song. Okay, I would say for all of you, while there are chords up there, there's not really any point in playing those chords unless you're playing in a duet. Okay, somebody's got to play this iconic beginning, and if you have a friend that you're helping learn ukulele, or you have a peer who's just as good at all this as you are, hopefully you're occasionally playing with somebody who's better than you. Right, that's something that I think is important for all of us. I have lots of people in my orchestra who are better players than I am, and I like to hang around with them to see, how are they doing it. And honestly, back in the day when I first started, Jim Venice was a fine player even back then, and he's a local guy here that's a fine ukuleleist, and he got me started. I was way better than me, right? Because I was willing and brave enough to go play with somebody that was way better than me, I got better, right? And so from time to time, go seek out somebody. They don't have to be on ukulele either. They can be on a tuba. Who cares? As long as you're trying to have somebody who knows a little bit more about music, kind of pushing you just a little bit. I think it's important. All right. So somebody has to play that melody, those first 4 measures, and then if you have a second person who can play the chords, then you're in, you got a really nice thing going. But I don't think there's any point in just playing the chords through that first 4 measures. All right, now let's go through the chord shapes for the rest of the song. On measure 5, you've got a C chord. Okay, that's followed up in the same measure with a C major 7. That sounds like the song, doesn't it? Then you've got an F chord right here. And that's how the whole first section goes. Just C major 7th, and F. Just kind of rotates around, clear up until you get into measure 13. Okay, and measure 13, you're going to drop it in A minor, which is that one right there. And then remember at 14, when you make your D minor, put an F on first and just add a ring finger. That's your D minor. Okay, so that's what you've got going on with the first page. Second page, you got a G chord shows up, followed by a G7. That's always kind of a tough transition, going from G to G7. Okay, that's going to come up a lot. It's just sort of a bummer that it doesn't feel that great on ukulele. And then, if I remember right, that might be all the chords that you have. Page 2, same thing. Measure 31. They did sneak in an E7. A lot of times E7 will sneak in on these types of songs. Okay, E7. Remember, this is from day 1 or 2 of this series for new people. Index finger on top, middle finger on the 3rd string, ring finger on the bottom string. That's your E7. Okay, creates a real heavy-duty amount of tension. to then be resolved into the next measure. So E7 shows up 3 times on the last page, and that's your chords. Okay. Now, because you are used to hearing John Lennon sing this and not Gary Ugart sing this, we're not going to sing this. It's a little like when you sing Over the Rainbow. Have you done that yet? Go ahead, try. Go ahead, see what happens. You are trying to sing it like Israel sings it, and you are going to fail. And so it's always quite disappointing. And the same thing happens with Imagine. I could probably hack my way through it, but none of us would be happy by the end, right? We would want to start a war by the end. So I'm not going to sing instrument, but you know how it goes. Go grab the MP3 off of the website. Over there on the upper right-hand side of the website is a little widget with all of the songs for the whole entire program, both the secret stuff and the not secret stuff. Everything's going to show up there. And you go listen to the song. It's another way for you to get a sense of what's in the member section. Right? Got a couple songs showing up there that aren't on the main page. What the heck's going on? Oh, the good stuff's over there. No, it's not necessarily the good stuff. It's just the modern stuff. Okay, my mind, good stuff, 1880. That's the date. That's the date they started writing good stuff. When that's not true, 1854. Stephen Foster. He's the guy. He started all the good stuff. I don't remember what I was talking about. Let's play the melody. Okay. From the top, we're going to play the ukulele melody line one note at a time. We're just going to play through the whole thing one time. When we get down to the repeat, we'll just talk about what we were supposed to do with the repeat, because really what we want to do is get onto the tough acts here, tough for this today. Okay, welcome in, Greg. All right, from measure 5 on the ukulele line, ukulele melody, one note at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 0, 2, 3, 4, rest. 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, 0, rest, 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 rest. 3, 3, 2, 2, 0, 2, 3, 4, rest. 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 0, 2, 3, 4, rest. 0, 3, 0, 3, 7, 7, 5, 2, 2, 2, 3, 5, 7, 10, 7, 5, 3, 2, 3, 4, rest. 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 0, 2, 3, 4, rest. 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, 0, 2, 3, 4, rest. 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 0, 2, 3, 4, rest. 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, 0, 2, 3, 4, rest. 0, 3, 0, 3, 7, 7, 5, 2, 2, 2, 3, 5, 7, 10, 7, 5, 3, 0, 3, 2, 0, 2, 3, 3, rest. 0, 3, 2, 2, 0, 0, 0, 2, 3, 4, rest. 0, 0, 3, 2, 0, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, rest. 3, 3, 5, 5, 7, 3, 3. So, and then we're going to repeat. Now, make sure you take note at measure at the end of 38. You're not going to go all the way back to the top, and that's where that using in the yellow highlighter is a great idea. Take this yellow highlighter. You should be sitting next to one right at the moment. If you're not, you made an error. Okay, so you want to have one of these sitting by your sheet music, and you're going to take and you're going to put a little line at the beginning of 37. And basically that says, hey, are you doing the first repeat or the second repeat or the 29th repeat? If you go into measure 37, you have to repeat. If you're not going to do the repeat, you skip and jump over to 38 and play on. So just put a little piece of yellow marker at the beginning of 37. And then you also want to put a little piece of yellow marker at the beginning of measure 18, because that's where you go back to. You don't go back to the beginning of the song on this one. You go back to measure 18. Okay, and on this piece of paper, I did not write the repeats up on the top because I haven't started doing that until this year. So you don't have that right there. So you need to make yourself a note. The other note that I often see people using, and I think it makes a lot of sense, above number 37, just write to number 18, right? And that will tell you, oh, I got to go back. Because we get so used to going back to the beginning. That's our natural tendency. So give yourself a note. Hey, go back to number 18, and then you'll play it through the second time. The second time you come through, you skip 37, play from 38 to the end. Okay, so that's how we're going to do that. All right, I would like to. We're in good shape on time, so I'd like to play the tough uke now. Okay, and the only really the only main difference here is that when you're pulling down on your chords, whether you're going to use your claw or your thumb, um, it really tracks quite well as a tune. And by the way, very often when we're putting music onto the ukulele, we have to adjust the key that it goes into to fit it on the ukulele. This song is written in the key of C. And by the way, if you're ever wanting to think, I need to leave a song that is for the rest of all eternity, people are going to love this song and love me. You want to write a song in the key of C so piano players can play it. Okay, piano players, we start in the key of C, and we usually quit by the time they make us go into anything other than one sharp and one flat, right? So we do G, we tolerate, we can usually go to F next, and then we go to G, and then after that they started adding multiple black notes, and you're like, nope, I'm out, that's enough. Okay, so but this song was written in the key of C. It's all the white notes on the piano. There's not a ton fancy here. Those E7s create, there will be a black note that jumps in there, but for the most part, it's a really pleasant tune on that, and there's nothing super that's going to jump up and super weird you out on that, and that's the kind of songs that end up being iconic, like they'll really hang around for a long time. And so let's go and play this Tough Axe. Okay, it's going to sound nice, and if you're not there yet, play along with the melody, right? Just play with the melody, and honestly, if you're not there yet, grab the chords and just strum along with us until it's making sense. All right, from the top, the very top. Okay, and remember you got to go. That's the hard part. Okay, and the whole song. Once you get that, everything's duck soup. 1, 2, from the top. back up to 18. Whoops, sorry, I blew it. Go to 18, ready, play. There. What do you think? Probably that's the song worth memorizing. Probably, right? It's going to be around till you're dead. Okay, it's by one of you, couple of your favorite, well, at least one of your favorite people. Okay, it's got a nice message behind it. A lot of stuff is really, really like something that you'd like to hang on to with that one, and you can play it every year at Christmas time, guaranteed. So, let's see, what other things should we talk about with that? Um, yeah, that's it. Um, I would not rush that one. It's fine to be super slow on that. For me, the only place that's kind of brutal is the page turn from second page to the third page. You got to remember there's that F chord sitting there with the three. It's not what you expect. This moment where they're getting ready to go into a new transition and gives you this sort of like, what's that F doing there? And so that was one of those places where I've had to practice it a few times to make sure I remember it's there. Jumping up to the 7 and the 5, you could tell if you were watching me at all, I'm fighting between which fingers I should use. I got to spend a little bit of time thinking that through when you go up to 7 and 5 to make sure you're using the most efficient fingering. Let's see. All right. So let me. That's it. That's good enough for today, right? You go home and play that thing. It's a good song. We'll wrap it up today. Unless you guys have questions, my chat box is over here. I think yours shows up over there. Let's see. Greg walked in late. That's right. Oh, thanks, Vicky. It is a good arrangement, right? It's a good song. It wasn't that hard to arrange, honestly. They did all the work for us. Yeah, I think we did play it in orchestra, probably at Christmas time, didn't we, Bob? Yeah, Jerry, good. Kathy, glad you like it. Red gives me the chills. Yay! See, I told you, you guys are Beatles fans. Honestly, I should stop making fun of them because it's just wrong. All right, Cindy, go play it. Let's see, Gil, wonderful. Renee, so soothing. Yeah, just take your time playing it. You don't need to be in a hurry to play that one. Pauline, thanks. Louise, love it. Everybody just loves this song. Everybody loves that song. Everybody loves that song. And it sounds great on your ukulele, even a cheap ukulele, right? There's nothing really pressing the envelope on that one. So nice job, Mike. See you from Nebraska tomorrow. Oh, everybody's ending up in Nebraska. Stop it, people. No, Nebraska's fine. I spent some time there. Actually, it's not. It's a horrible place. But hopefully, if you're from Nebraska, hopefully you're making an escape plan. Let's see. Let's see. Jacqueline, beautiful. You're welcome. Renee, have a wonderful day. Kat, love this arrangement. Thanks, Kat, and have a great day. Yeah, and honestly, it's not as much my arrangement as oftentimes, right? This was in the key of C. It's sort of laid out more or less exactly like John wrote it out, and so it's you got a pretty legit piece of music there. Brennan, how do you hold the 5-5-5-7 on major? Yeah, should have mentioned that. That's that D minor up on 5. You're gonna put your bar on 5 and your ring finger on 7. Yep, that's okay. And the only reason that's there is it's a D minor chord there, but the problem is the melody's way up on 5. So it's really uncomfortable to play it in with a normal D minor. So just put your bar on 5 and your ring on 7, and that'll solve that D minor problem there. Um, that's the advanced motion moment in that song. That I think in the 7s and 10s are a bit hard to get to. So, but yeah, you nailed it, Brandon. You knew exactly where the tough part was, and that's it. Cindy, have a great day. Jerry, have a wonderful day. Barbara, glad you loved it. Joyce, definitely one work again. Sounds lovely on the lava. Nice, nice. Yeah, it does sound good on ukulele. I love it. Let's see. Carol, have a wonderful day. Glad you're still showing up. Terry, have a wonderful day. Diane, super. Can we see the baritone arrangement? Yeah, if you baritone players, you can absolutely toss me an email, and I will toss you the baritone arrangement. This song doesn't necessarily matter, though. This song you can just. I think it's no. I think it's the tablature wise. I just moved it over into G, and I didn't change anything about it. I probably don't have a baritone version in C at the moment. If you give me a reason to, I might be able to create one. Let's see. Annie, have a great day. Laurel, good to see you. Lynn, hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Brandon, you bet, Brandon. All right, thanks, guys. Have a wonderful day. We had a good day, I hope, and I will get to all my loving posted up there for you next. Phyllis, have a wonderful day. I'm gonna go eat lunch. I haven't had anything to eat today, so I'm starving. And if you want to learn to play guitar, I do a Denver Guitar Orchestra. Workshop at 2:30. I moved it a half an hour later, so I'll be at 2:30 today. Well, I'll be 30 minutes from now, whatever time you're sitting in, and we're gonna play. I think we're working on "While My Guitar Gently Weeps" over there. So, uh, uh, oh, Carol, you've been playing this in G. Okay, all right, that makes sense. Okay, I can see that. Violet, I didn't see you sneak in. Have a wonderful day, dude. All right, man. Have a wonderful day, you guys. I will see all of you later. Ending the stream.